All right, guys, it brings me no pleasure to do this segment, I must say. So one of the things you'll notice if you've been watching the show is that I love a guy by the name of Bill Burr. Bill Burr is one of the few people out there who has been correctly standing up to all the little Trump sycophantic bitches in the podcast world, in the Rogan sphere. Basically saying like, hey guys, you're in over your head. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Have a little bit of humility. You know, this is Bill Burr's message to the Rogans and the Andrew Schultz and the Theo Vons and the, like, come on, man. You guys are getting way too political. You're in over your head. And also, Trump is kind of bad. And reel it in a little bit. So I love him for that. I also love Mark Maron. I think you could argue Mark Maron has even gone further than Bill Burr in his criticisms. And I think Mark Maron's criticisms are spot on. But Bill Burr represents a kind of comic that I still like. You know, unfortunately, what's happened to comedy more broadly sucks. Go watch that Elephant Graveyard, a 2-hour video or whatever it was, about the anti-reality doomsday death cult that is comedy. You have to watch that if you haven't. It's about Rogan and the Rogan sphere people and how they've ruined comedy. But Bill Burr was an example of a comic who I still have respect for, I still have admiration for, and he is the heir apparent to the George Carlins and the Bill Hicks. Whereas Rogan is like Rush Limbaugh now, right? Like, just I have no love for him. So, but here I have to tell you, I really think that Bill Burr sort of fucked up here, bro. I really think he fucked up, and I'll show you why. So, shout out to whoever. There's somebody who was watching Kyle and Corn live and sent this in and alerted me to this because I didn't know that this was the case. And shout out to that person. I'm sorry I don't have your name right in front of me here, but this person said, "Hey, did you know that Bill Burr is going to the Saudi Arabia Comedy Festival, the Riyadh Comedy Festival?" And I said, that can't be true. No. That's not true. Is it? No, that's not true. Come on. Turns out it is, y'all. So look at this. This is the website here. Ready for this? So the Riyadh Comedy Festival. Time out Riyadh. Ready? Dave Chappelle is going to this thing. Dave Chappelle has joined the Riyadh Comedy Festival, but we're just getting started here. Y'all ready? Let's see. So we got Dave Chappelle. We got Kevin Hart, Russell Peters, Maz Jobrani. This one surprises the fuck out of me, too. Kevin Hart doesn't surprise me. He always is looking for a bag. Russell Peters, I don't know. I guess that doesn't surprise me. Maz Jobrani surprises me because he's been on, like, the Young Turks a bunch, right? He's been, like, a host in progressive media. And you're going to the fucking Riyadh Comedy Festival? Look, we all know why. Let's not pretend like we don't know why these people are saying yes to this. They're probably throwing colossal amounts of money. You know how they've been doing what's called sports washing? They got involved in women's tennis. They're throwing a bunch of money at women's tennis. They started a rival golf league to the PGA Tour called the Live Golf League. They got a lot of business with Trump, too, by the way, giving him tens of millions or hundreds of millions of dollars to use his courses. But they're throwing colossal amounts of money at these pro golfers, at Phil Mickelson, at Bryson DeChambeau, at Brooks Koepka. They basically corrupted them and bought them from the PGA Tour and just threw tremendous amounts of money at them. Dustin Johnson, for example. We have Joe Coy, Jim Jeffries. That's another guy who's supposed to be a lefty. Jim Jeffries. Jimmy Carr, Gabriel Iglesias, Bill Burr. Bill, what have you done? Andrew Schultz, not surprised, even though he's got a big podcast now and he's making a lot of money. Why not sell out a little extra? Zarna Garg, who I never heard of. Whitney Cummings, she's Rogan Sphere, kind of. Jessica Kirson. Aziz Ansari. Oh my God, you got Andrew Santino and Bobby Lee. Nimesh Patel, Omid Jalili. I don't know who this guy is, but he kind of looks like the guy. He kind of looks like Kurt Metzger, right? He kind of looks like an older Kurt Metzger. Anyway, Skeet Davidson. What the fuck is he doing there? Is he even a stand-up comic? Sam Morrill. Oh, Tom Segura. Another guy who's worth roughly $2 quadrillion who doesn't need the fucking money, but he's going to this thing anyway. Who else we got? Chris DiStefano, Hannibal Buress. Oh my God, Hannibal, what are you doing? This dude, whoever he is. Chris Tucker. He's taking some time away from Epstein's Island to come and fucking perform for the Saudi Crown Prince, MBS. Mark Normand, Louis C.K. He's going to take some time off from beating off in front of random women to go perform in front of a beheader. That's great. Good stuff, guys. Really good stuff. Really love this. So, why does this annoy me? Look, let's keep it real. The only reason why all these people said yes to this is because I guarantee you they're making money, the likes of which they haven't made anywhere else ever. They're probably throwing, hey, for Bill Burr, Shit. I guarantee you he's getting over $1 million for this one performance, I would guess. That's my guess. Over $1 million for this one performance. Dave Chappelle, same thing. Over $1 million, maybe 10 million. Maybe 10 million, bro. Some of these people, like, even the ones who are like the lesser known names, I guarantee you they're getting at least 100 grand. I guarantee you. Because, again, what is this? This is Saudi Arabia trying to whitewash their image. So they did sports washing, which is what we just described before, getting involved in all these sports and throwing a lot of money at it, trying to normalize themselves. This is comic washing. That's what, who, us, bro? Pfft. We're like a totally civilized nation. We believe in free speech. We're just having fun, having some drinks and telling some jokes, bro. That's all we're doing. Don't look at our record. Do not look at the fact that we just did a fucking genocide in Yemen and killed countless people. Don't look at that. Don't look at the fact that we beheaded a journalist named Jamal Khashoggi for telling the truth. Don't look at that. Don't look at that. And this is what frustrates me so much is that, like, Bill Burr, we love Bill Burr. Bill Burr's, every time we cover him on the show, it's something positive. This is the first time it's not something positive. But the thing that drives me crazy is, like, is it the case that, like, nobody has principles anymore? And I'm asking this question sincerely. Nobody has principles. Nobody has values. Nobody has ethics. Nobody has basic morality where they go, you know what? Maybe taking $1 million or $10 million from one of the modern day Hitlers is a bad idea. Maybe that won't look good, right? If the year is 1939 and Hitler offers you a bag, or let's water it down a little bit and say, you get a call from Himmler or Goebbels, and they go, we have the comedy festival. Will you come? We give you 1 million. What would your reaction? Through the lens of history, we can look back and say, hey, anybody who took that is a sellout. That's what they are. They're a sellout. Now, the craziest thing is, most of these people don't even need the fucking money. You think Andrew Schultz needs that money? You think Tom Segura needs that fucking money? You think Bill Burr needs that money? The extra million DZACs from this fucking psychotic, genocidal, bloodthirsty freak? He doesn't need that. He doesn't fucking need that. So again, I reiterate the question. Does nobody have principles anymore? Does everybody actually have a number, like a sellout number? Like, hey, this amount, I'm selling out for sure. Because, I don't know, maybe I'm naive, maybe I'm silly, but I was under the impression that things mattered. That, like, how you act as a human being, that not selling out is kind of important. It's kind of, being virtuous actually matters. If you want to be able to sleep at night, if you want to be able to put your head down on your pillow at night and feel good about yourself, you don't want to take money from Benjamin Netanyahu, from Mohammed bin Salman in Saudi Arabia, right? Like, this, I don't know, it doesn't seem, like, I don't think I'm that special. I really don't. I'm just an asshole with a YouTube show who runs his loudmouth. That's all it is. But I told you guys, I started doing this in 2012 full time. That's over a decade I've been doing this show. And since I started doing this show, I've never once had a conversation with an advertiser. I've never once had a conversation with a billionaire. I've never once had a conversation with a foreign government. I've never once done an ad read. I've never talked to a corporation. I've never done any of that. Now, look, my situation is a little different because I'm in news and politics. And for that, it's like you have to be extra clean. You have to be extra pure because in that realm, like, you make any sort of deal with some company or some individual, and immediately it's like puppet, right? And that's kind of fair, to be honest, if people were to say that. So you got to be extra clean. So I'm not saying they need to have the same thing I have, right? But what I am saying is, are there no lines? Are there no lines? So if you're willing to go perform for Saudi Arabia, if Benjamin Netanyahu gave you a call tomorrow and said, hey, come perform in the killing fields of Gaza, we're going to put up a big stage right over the child skulls and the fucking starving people who are dying and the fucking aid workers who we massacred. We're going to put a big stage up over there and we want you to come here and perform. What would you say? Because if you're willing to say yes to Mohammed bin Salman, I don't know. It's really not that different to say yes to Benjamin Netanyahu. It's not. Like I said, Saudi Arabia did a genocide in Yemen, a literal genocide in Yemen. That's not hyperbole. It's a genocide in Yemen that they did. They starved that fucking country. They killed so many people. What, you don't know about it? Oh, I'm just a comic. I'm sure that'll be I'm just a comic. I don't even know about it. I'm just a comic. I know. Just like I heard from the live golfers. Oh, I'm just a golfer. Sure, I'm taking $100 million from a fucking genocidal psychopath, but I'm just a golfer. No, the fuck you're not. See, what you don't understand is just the fact that you're agreeing is all they want. That's all they need. That's all they need. That's what sports washing is. That's what comic washing is. Just the fact that you're agreeing. Hey, you're normalizing us. All you have to do is take the money and do your set, and that's it. But you've aided in the attempt to normalize us, to make everybody overlook our atrocities and be cool with it. right? And by the way, I would say the same thing. The U.S. government, performing for the U.S. government, I would say the same shit. With all the crimes we committed and the illegal war in Iraq and the torture and all that stuff. But the difference is, these comics, when they perform in the U.S., they're not performing for the U.S. government, right? They're not taking a check from the... It's not like George W. Bush is signing you a check, or Dick Cheney signing you a check, or Donald Trump is signing you a check. No. It's different because it's the people. It's totally different. Here you have the literal government, the PIF, the Public Investment Fund, is going to send these people a fucking check of blood money. Blood money. So, I don't know. It kind of makes me sad that, like, apparently nobody has ethics, nobody has morals, nobody has rules. Nobody holds themselves to a standard of, like, basic morality and decency. I don't think it's that much to ask to say you could turn down money from a genocidal dictator. I don't think that's too much to ask. I actually think that's very simple. And even if it's a lot of money, a lot of the people on this list, like, if you're one of the comics who doesn't do that well, I can kind of understand that a little more, because, like, hey, I got kids I got to put through college, whatever. I can see it a little more. I still think it's wrong, but I could empathize with it just a little more. But if you're Bill Burr, if you're fucking Andrew Schultz, if you're Dave Chappelle, if you're Tom Segura, fuck you. Fuck you. I never want to hear any moral preening. I never want to hear any finger wagging or judging of other people for fucking anything. Because you motherfuckers know this shit is dirty. You know this shit is gross. So yeah, go perform. Go perform for this asshole, and then while you're at it, then go perform for Benjamin Netanyahu. Let me know how that goes, but they should lose fucking fans over this. They should lose fans over this. Like, I don't know. I want to get back to a place where morality matters and people have some semblance of basic morals, just some semblance of basic morals. I'm not saying you have to be as extreme as me, where all we have is the default ads on YouTube and all we have is our Patreon, right? And Substack and the tips people leave on YouTube. You don't need to go that far. But, you know, it's a little less unethical to take some money from fucking Hello Tushy than it is to take it from a genocidal dictator, okay? Am I wrong? Am I the crazy one for pointing that out? So, I don't know, man. It sucks to feel like there's only, like, what, 1% of people, maybe 5%, if I'm being kind, is at the point where they're willing to have some standards, some rules, some morality, some ethics, where they're willing to turn down a bag because, you know, it comes from a bad source. It just, I don't know, that irks me to no end. Because that makes me think, is there something wrong with like human nature? Are we all just fucked inevitably because of that? But I don't know. I think we can build a society where it's much higher than just 1% or 5% that'll say, I'm not taking the bag. But yeah, super disappointing. And I don't mean to just single out Bill Burr. I know for the title of the video, we just put Bill Burr. But really it's for everybody on this fucking list, bro. Everybody on this list. It's like 90% of them don't need the fucking money. Maybe you could argue 10% of them do, but 90% of them don't need the fucking money. And they're just going because they're like, hey, fuck it. I'll do one night's work and make $1 million or $5 million or $10 million or 500,000 or whatever. And it's like, I don't know. Is it really worth it if you know where that money came from and how many people were killed as a result of it? And it's just not. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. And if I hope some of these people who are going to this thing see this video and they rethink and they change their mind. Because, you know, that would, maybe they didn't know about the genocide in Yemen. Maybe they didn't know about Jamal Khashoggi, although I find that hard to believe. But if you know, and you follow through with it, well, I don't know. I think that says a lot about you. I do. All right, guys, that's the show. I love you all very much. You know the drill. Everybody, please click like, click subscribe, click that bell icon so you get a notification every time a video drops. Thank you to everybody who supports the show on Patreon. As you know, independent media, never done an ad read, never done an ad deal. Very proud of that fact. You guys made that possible, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. All right, I love you guys, and I'll see you back here next time. Everybody have a great rest of your day. Peace. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.